Aloha everyone, this is Cindy from Stamped with Aloha. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a beautiful gratitude card, and I'm going to share with you a creative way to use your designer series paper, as well as show you a new technique that I just learned and I absolutely love. So let's get started. So this is a card we're going to make today. As you can see, it features our Gilded Autumn Specialty Designer Series paper, and the neat thing about it is it not only features the specialty or the shiny side of the paper that has the foiling in it, but it also features the design that's on the other side of the paper, as you can see here. So this is a really great way to use designer series paper to feature both sides. Now this card was stamped with this sentiment here, which comes from the beautiful autumn stamp set. So the first thing that we're gonna do is score our designer series paper. Now this piece of designer paper is 4 inches by 12 inches. I'm gonna score it at 2.5 inches, 7 3/4 inches, and then one more time at 10 3/4 inches. I realize that's probably out of the camera shot, but it's right there on the edge. Okay, now that our scoring has been done, I'm gonna go ahead and fold up the bottom of the designer paper. So I'm gonna fold this up and use my bone folder to make it nice and flat. Then I'm gonna take and I'm gonna fold it down. I'm gonna make sure that this is lined up evenly on the edges, and then I'm going to just crease it and so make it nice and flat. So isn't this paper gorgeous? I just love this paper. But now we're gonna feature the inside of the paper because I'm gonna fold this little flap back. So now you're gonna get to see the beautiful design that's on the inside of the paper as well. So we wanna keep this flap back, so I'm going to use some of our liquid glue, and I'm going to just place some liquid glue here, and then I'm going to just fold this down and adhere that together. All right, so this is the front of our card, but we need to place this on a card base. So I'm going to be using a piece of early espresso cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm gonna turn over my designer series paper, and I'm just going to add some liquid glue to the back of it. And then I'm going to press this down and adhere this to the front of that card base. Okay, so now we have the base of the card done, the front of the card done, but when you open up the front of our card, obviously you cannot write a message here because there's too much going on. So we need a neutral piece. So I'm gonna be using a piece of very vanilla cardstock. This is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. I'm just going to add my adhesive here, and then I'm going to press this right in the center of this inside of the card. Okay, I'll pop. All right, so now we are ready to add our focal point. So this is where I'm gonna teach you this really fun and simple technique. I just learned this from my friend Laura Dubois. She's also known as Laura with Love or the Locust Stamper. And when she showed this at our Stamper Showcase a couple weeks ago, oh my goodness, it blew my mind because it's very simple, but I love it. And I hope you're gonna love it just as much. So here's what you do. I'm calling this Laura's tape technique. So you have a piece of cardstock, then you get some packing tape. This is just clear packing tape. And we're gonna go ahead and cover the cardstock with the packing tape. And you wanna do it as smoothly and as evenly as you can. And I'm gonna put 2 strips side by side like this. Okay? And so then I'm gonna just kind of smooth it out a little bit because you wanna try to get those wrinkles out of it. Okay? And then what you'll do is you'll take this piece of taped cardstock, and what you've done is you've kind of made your own specialty paper out of it. So I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna use this die from the Be Mine Stitched dies. Then I'm gonna run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And the end result is going to be this beautiful glossy heart that looks like specialty paper, but it's just a piece of cardstock that I covered with tape. Now, I'm not using these on the card today, but I wanna show you, it works great with the well-written dies. Can you see how fun these shiny letters are? And these were just made simply by using tape and cardstock together. So thank you, Laura, for that awesome tip. You're gonna be seeing me use this technique a lot because I love it so much. All right, so now we have our pretty glossy heart. And so I'm gonna take and I'm gonna flip this over. And the next thing that we need is some dimensionals. So I'm gonna add 3 dimensionals 2 at the top, and then 1 right there below that middle point. I'm going to take off the backings, flip it around, and then I'm going to place this right here so that it hangs over that center flap, like that. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna die cut some more cardstock. So I've die cut these 2 pieces. So these came from the Hippo and Friends dies. I use these 2 dies here. And so let me show you these 2 pieces. So we have 1 out of Early Espresso, 1 out of Very Vanilla. So we're gonna stamp on the Very Vanilla piece. I'm going to ink up my stamp, and then I'm going to stamp the words, "My heart is grateful for you." Okay, so then I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to add some adhesive to the back, and then I'm going to adhere this on the front like that. Okay, give that a second to dry, and then I'm going to flip it over again, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back here, and then I'm going to press this onto the front of my card. The final thing that we're going to do is embellish this with a rhinestone. So I'm just going to pick up a small or medium rhinestone, and I'm going to just place that right over the letter O so that it says, my heart is grateful for you, and then we have our little rhinestone right there. So here's our completed card. Now I want to show you this one here. This one here features a different piece of the designer paper, but also on the front, you'll see that this tag here was actually die cut using our brand new festive felt. So that just gives it a little bit of a different look. But either way, I just think these cards are so gorgeous and so fun. And I really love that it shows a creative way to use our designer series paper, so you get to see both sides. Well, I hope that you enjoyed learning how to make this card today. I just want to say I am grateful for you. Thanks for spending this time with me. I hope you'll come back and stamp with me again soon. Until then, aloha.